Hi there, my name is Guy Sexton, and I'm an electrical and computer engineering major at the University of Texas at Austin. Today I'd like to present to you a concept for Rounds, a new app that allows you to view all of your health data in a dashboard-like format, setting goals and reviewing progress to make sure that you're winning every day. I realized there was a problem when I noticed that I was using 9 different apps every single day to track and view my health data. A lot of these apps were built for specific purposes and had specifically tuned views to allow me to better interpret and analyze my health information. In 2014, Apple launched a platform to hopefully allow users to interpret this data in one place. But what it ended up being is kind of just a watered down aggregation of the data, whereas the singular apps are still the best place to view the certain data. This data can range from dietary information to sleep tracking, heart health, and then just general body metrics themselves. I'd like to take a look at Apple Health compared to 2 different purpose-built health apps. The first one is AutoSleep. As you can see, AutoSleep provides much more detailed information about your actual sleep and the details you had that night, whereas Apple Health just shows you how long you were asleep that night. And then when we look at Cardiogram, our heart health tracking app, you can see that Cardiogram will give you details for workouts and full days, showing you highlights of the day and specific heart rates that you had resting or maybe your highest BPM of the day, whereas Apple Health will just show you a range throughout the day, not going into detail over your workouts like Cardiogram does. This simplification is mostly due to the fact that Apple Health was not meant to replace these platforms. It was just meant to supplement them and provide a means for health apps to share their information across the system. As you can imagine, there was a broad swath of research to look through to find specific information that would help Rounds. The quotes on this slide summarize most of the research I did and highlight some key points. Through my research, I discovered a few different points that I'd like to bring light to on the next slide. During my research, I uncovered some important findings about personal informatics systems and other health trackers. First off, it has been observed in scientific studies that health tracking and self-monitoring can help users lose weight. It also goes on to encourage perfection of physique, past losing weight and increasing muscle mass, as well as other biological indicators. These apps often use metrics to determine overall healthiness of their users, attempting to encourage good habits and create permanent routines that benefit the users in the long haul. A health tracking app may not always be used by the user after it's downloaded, so it must be designed in a way that encourages the user to come back and complete goals or complete objectives that help the user to continue improving their health. So what would an app need to solve this problem? Building off of my personal experience and the indicators recommended in the research I did, the app will need to be comprised of 4 sections: one over activity, one over habits, the other over metrics, and the last over recommendations for the user's next steps. Rounds provides a dashboard-like interface where you can view all of this data and properly analyze it in one place without having to jump between multiple apps. The home screen provides a place for you to view your goals and the progress you've made towards them in that day. The activity screen gives you an overview of your active data, as well as workouts and sharing. The habits section shows you nutrition as well as mental health data. It also features a pill minder and customized goals. The metrics section of the app allows a place for you to view your body measurements, heart health, and reproductive health data. And finally, the recommendations section of the app provides recommendations from your doctor, our artificial intelligence engine, as well as apps that you may want to download. I've gone ahead and created a prototype of Rounds using Adobe XD, and I'd like to go ahead and walk through a demo of that app. This is the home screen of Rounds. Its main purpose is to track your progress for your goals each day, either your primary ones that are located in the rings at the top, or your secondary ones that are located in the boxes below. The yellow dot in the middle will light up gold to indicate if you have any new recommendations, either from your doctor or our artificial intelligence system. And here's what it looks like when you fill in your rings for the day. Now onto Rounds activity section. It'll show you your calories you've burned each day, how many minutes you've been exercising, and then how many stand hours you have. It'll also lay out your workouts and show you sharing settings between friends and give you awards for certain activity achievements. It also defines your trends for the week and can help you improve week over week on certain different goals. Next up is Round's Habits section. This shows you basics from your nutrition, your sleep and mindfulness data points, as well as being a basic pill minder and allowing you to customize goals. The nutrition part of habits will allow you to see your macros and divisions of certain nutrients throughout your day. The personal habits section will allow you to define custom goals, maybe things you'd like to do each day, encouraging a development of new habits that are good for you and for your long-term health. The metrics section of Rounds will allow you to monitor body measurements, including weight and then physical body measurements as well, maybe waist size, height, things like that. The heart health section will allow you to see your average heart rates throughout the day and throughout workouts and give you recommendations based on that data. And finally, the reproductive health section will allow you to do basic cycle tracking as well as monitor other reproductive health indicators. And last but not least, the recommendations section of the app will include 3 different categories. The first will be recommendations for new goals from your doctor. These can be essentially prescribed to you, and you can choose to take them up or not in one of your main goal sections. The next will be recommendations from our AI. These will use the algorithms that we have to monitor your body metrics and recommend things that you could change to improve your overall health or to get to one of your new goals. The last section of the app is basically dedicated to recommending new apps that might help you collect more data or interpret it in even more detail than we can in Rounds. That's all the demo I have for you today. Now I'd like to go ahead and discuss the next steps for Rounds. The next things we'd need to do before fully implementing and launching Rounds begin with medical research using experts. We'd like to talk to them and ensure that the recommendations that our app gives are based in fact and are useful information for users. Next, we'd like to do some formal user testing in a controlled environment using eye scanning to ensure that our app draws attention to the correct places and that users find it easy to use. After that, we'd like to deploy using something like Apple's test flight system and utilize some A/B testing methods to ensure that our design is the most optimal and compare it with a few other candidates. That is all I have today, but I want to thank you very much for taking the time to listen to my presentation. Remember to win the day with Rounds.